These four habits are what keep you stuck on a regular basis. Overthinking, too much planning, not giving your creative work priority, and not knowing where to start. So I want to break these down a little bit because we tend to get stuck at any point in time, no matter where we're at in our creative work, in our endeavors, in anything that we want to bring into our lives. And I want to go through how we identify that problem and then how we can get out of that problem. So when we think about overthinking, we're overthinking because we are overprocessing our logical mind. We're looking for answers out in the world. We're looking for a guarantee. We're looking for something that tells us that what we're about to do is going to be successful. We want a predetermined outcome before we even begin. We want to make sure that everything is perfect. We want to make sure that everything is in order and in place. And of course, I'm a planner at heart. I love all of that. But the overthinking will cause analysis paralysis. It stops the momentum. So when we get inspired thoughts, when we have these aha moments, sometimes they're a little lofty and grandiose and they're castles in the sky, and we do have to bring them down into a reality check. But the process of bringing them down into a reality check is the ability to start taking action on those ideas and start figuring out what to do with it and how to put it together. And by overthinking, we then start to see too many solutions. We start to see too many options in front of us, and it becomes really hard to narrow down. And we lose that momentum and that intuitive spark and that intuition that wants to come through to help guide us to know that that is the right path for us to take. And so we want to balance those two out. And so when we start to overthink things, it's a really great time and a really great practice to take a step back, clear your mind, go for a walk, do something mundane, do some normal activity, and then get back into that inspired thought. What was it that excited you so much? What was that vision? And hold that vision and take action on that vision and let go of expectation, let go of results, let go of needing a guarantee for something, and just enjoy the process. The second, planning too much. It's having everything outlined and detailed ad nauseum. And if that works for you, that's great. But I know sometimes we can overplan and overthink. And I have a ton of tabs open in Google Docs and Google Sheets. And no matter how much I plan and figure out all the ticky-tack things, which is really easy because we're in such a production mindset in society, that we kind of miss the other energetic aspect of it where we're creating through inspired action because magnetism, that magnetism that we hold of that inspiration is really the glue. It's really the thing that's going to attract us to what it is that we really want to have and the things that we really want to do. And sometimes it goes against the plan. Sometimes we couldn't even possibly plan what it is that the next step is going to be because we had to take the first step and we have to see where that step's going to take us. And we have to have faith that even though a loose plan is absolutely needed and a really great guidepost, an outline to follow, that you're also okay with things going outside of the plan or being able to feel that you can move without a plan and know that you have enough faith in yourself and trust in yourself that you're going to solve it along the way. That was a big one for me to learn, of being able to know that if I'm connected with myself and I'm really in my highest place of like, I'm only going to look at and want to look for things that bring me pleasure, things that excite me, things that are a benefit in my life, even if they are challenging and difficult, but I know that the reward is there and I don't know how it's going to turn out, I can still move forward with it. And so maybe the over planning and the nuance may hinder you to be stuck because something didn't go according to plan. And when something doesn't go according to plan, it feels like everything's off and everything needs to be thrown out. And this is a self-sabotaging tactic. And it keeps us stuck in a place where we're not continuing the momentum of that inspiration. The third aspect and the third habit, we don't give the things that we love, our work, our creativity, a priority. We allow every other distraction to get in our way because we think that's more important. or that seems to have a bigger precedence. And sometimes, yes, that is the case. But if we don't prioritize dedicating time for ourselves and the things that we love doing, we're going to feel depressed. We're going to feel sad. We're going to feel off. We're not going to feel ourselves because we're not allowing that flow of energy. There's a flow of energy that happens naturally within us. When we get inspired, there's so much energy that comes through. We get so excited and we want to we have all this momentum. You can stay up all night. You can get up early in the morning. You're driven. You have found a purpose through the creative work just because it is engaging to you. And if we don't give ourselves the opportunity to prioritize that and the space for that, even on the days where we kind of feel flat or we're not as motivated, we can always get back in that motivated state. We can always move it into that space if we give ourselves the space. But if we've booked a schedule and planned so much that there really isn't that wiggle room to just let the mind open up and wander and see and envision and tinker mentally with what it is that we want, we're going to feel stuck. We're not going to have those aha moments. We're going to wonder what happened to them. Where did they go? How come you're so inspired when you go travel and you come home and it's not quite the same? We need to allow and give ourselves priority for whatever it is that we need in our lives to create, in our lives to do, in our lives to build, in our lives to design, so that we're making really ourselves a priority. That's the first step of self-care. That's the first step of self-love, of being able to say what is valuable, of your thoughts, of your ideas, has value because it's coming from you. You are valuable. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And so we need to make sure that those little insights and those little pieces and those little ideas, but we've allowed the space to put it down. We've allowed the space to let it come alive as much as we possibly can. And the fourth habit that keeps us stuck is that we just don't know where to start. And this can happen at any point in time in a process of whether you're beginning to put an idea down or you've put the idea down and you're like, now what? And you're not really sure. And just to simplify this, I want you to just think about, well, what's the thing that makes me the most excited? I would have to-do lists miles long, and I would have all these things that I wanted to get done, and I would put them in front of me. And the only thing I would really focus on is, of all the things that I have that I want to accomplish, what lights me up right now? What would be really fun to dig my teeth into? And some days it's creativity, some days it's more production-based, some days it's prepping for something, it's research. But if I'm in the mood and I'm in the momentum of wanting to do that, then I'm progressing forward. So it's never of not knowing where to start. You just don't know what excites you enough to start. And all of these, if we can get past it, if we can just move through it and not let that inner critic, that logical mind sway us out of the emotion, out of the momentum, out of the creative spark into the super practical, needing a guarantee, needing to understand how it's all going to unfold, kills everything. If we can get out of that thinking and move more into a trusting of oneself, trusting yourself and the process, and knowing that you have your back, and you have to really believe that you can still move through anything, whether you know what's going to happen or not. In fact, most of life, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how someone's going to respond to something. You don't know how it's going to unfold. And the times that you can guess, they're pretty boring. If we can become predictable, it's not always a good thing. It's a safe thing, but it's not always a good thing. And so we want to get rid of these habits. We want to get unstuck, and we get unstuck. So what is being stuck? Stuck is just literally, I'm not able to move at all. I'm stuck. I'm in a rut. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to move forward because we're overthinking it. We're over planning it, and we're too much in our left brain. So if we can get out of that, if we can start looking at how can I just start playing and being creative, or just building something, anything, designing, putting something together, doing something completely out of the normal, something completely different than I normally do, and get those wheels turning, get that momentum moving and going, you're going to get out of that so-called rut. You're going to get out of that because you're finding ways. You're literally finding solutions to the problem of being stuck. And so those 4 habits, if you can get them out of the way or know when they're happening, how to pivot and build yourself momentum to get into that inspired spark. If you're not inspired by anything, you might need to find something very new, very different, something that piques your interest, learn something new, go into a new environment, and just have no expectation and just experience something and see what comes towards you. And keep doing that until you get like a new sense of life. And these are small things. I'm looking at life in the smallest way. A new coffee shop, a new bookstore, a different part of town, a different route, a different type of class you can take, just a slightly different way so that it shifts your perspective, a different way that you can move. And so the idea of like, think of everything as energy, and that if we're feeling stuck or in a rut, well, we're probably doing the same things over and over again. And we're tired of it. We're tired of the monotonous of it. And we're not bringing any spice of life. We're not bringing any change. We're not bringing anything new to the table for ourselves. We're not bringing anything of excitement and joy. And so open yourself up to nature, to life, to everything. Let everything be a new inspiration and a new moment for you. And stop overthinking. Stop planning too much. Make your ideas, make your creativity a priority, and start wherever it feels exciting for you to start. Get out of your own way, stop feeling stuck, and go create something, because the world needs it. You need it. And we all need to be in a more satisfied, fulfilled place for us to make this next leap in life, this next leap in society. I hope this was of benefit. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.